Hi, welcome to School of Miracles. My name is Kelly Lorraine, and I'm here with Miro, and we're here to talk about Thursday triggers. I just want to point out, Miro, that today the moon is in Scorpio, and we seem to be filming always on Moon in Scorpio. What's the vibe today?
Hi, Kelly. Hello, everybody. Yes, so we are always, like, not always, but most of the times filming on Moon in Scorpio, which is really interesting because Moon in Scorpio, I mean, everybody is a bit afraid of it. They say that it's really tough moon, like it's really mystical. It's really, even like uh, they're afraid of unknown that moon brings. So we have a lot of triggers today. This is not just today, this is happening like for a couple of weeks, and it's going to happen in following weeks as well. Uh, the intense September, I think that's how we maybe should call this video, the intense September.
Mhm.
But this is, of course, the Trigger Thursdays. And we have Moon in Scorpio as a first uh, planet that it's being in conjunction with the South Node. And we know that the South Node is karma related. Like, what's our task that we need to do, like karmical obligations that we have towards our life and our soul. Now, Moon illuminates that even more, or brings certain mystery or fog or something like that, to the whole subject. Because what's the moon in tarot? That's it. Something being, like unfamiliar field where you need to, be on in order to, go to your dharma, to receive some gifts from life and everything else. But yet, we have a lot of retrograde planets as well. So, of course, it's the generational planets, which is the Neptune, the Pluto, Saturn, Jupiter, and Uranus. Five planets so far being retrograde, and we are in pre-shadow period with Mercury that will become to be retrograde on September 11th. So, what does this all mean? First of all, we are releasing of generational karma, trauma, and obstacles that we inherited from our ancestors. After that, like we will, because of this, like moon in Scorpio being in conjunction with South Node and all these generational planets, we are now basically facing our biggest and hugest fears that we have inside us. And all these fears are actually storage somewhere in us. Um, we all have moments in life. I mean, we watch movie like horror movie or something, or maybe you have a goofy friend who is just jumping in front of you and trying to scare you. Where does that fear? Where do you feel that fear in your body? That point of your body, that can be your spine, it can be your stomach, that can be heart, that can be whatever. That chakra is something that it's going to be most of cleansed in next period. But we will talk about that in chakra readings. But for now, which is really interesting, we have the not so good aspect, and that's actually Mars, who is in Gemini, in square with Sun. So these two aspects, actually, this one aspect with these two planets, it's almost like one part of your mind is in fight with another part of your mind. They don't communicate at all.
Mhm.
And that's something that is triggering us because Sun is in Virgo, the Mars is in Gemini, both ruled by Mercury that is going retrograde in Libra. And it's confusing because, where is the balance between our ego and our higher self? Like, this is not heart related. This is our higher self and our ego. So right now, I think that we all need to tune in intuition a little bit more in next couple of weeks and try to listen more to that intuition and not logic, not your mind, because we of course know that the Neptune, who is the leader of, the Neptune is for me like a Loki, like the character from Norse mythology. He's a trickster. That's the thing. He's always know where where to hit us on and how to get near to us, to stab us or to do who knows what. But the thing is, like, because of this old generational cleansing, this is awakening slash reawakening process that is happening again. In September is really beautiful month to do it because the autumn and um that mature energy, like in spiritual way, that it's happening around us, that it's happening inside us, is something priceless. I mean, it's not just my favorite, like the part of the year, but still, like, I love September because it reminds me of school, it reminds me of teaching, it reminds me of things that we don't know and yet to learn. So that's about it.
It's really interesting. There's a few things that I want to point out in what you said. When you talked about the Gemini and the Virgo aspect, right? The Mars and Gemini, and then we've got the Mercury retrograde. This is the thing. It's almost feeling like information overload. And it's the idea that Gemini is what amasses the information. It does the research. And then the Virgo energy is what analyzes. And it feels like everybody right now is in this information overload, and of course, with the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde, we're feeling this really heavy pressure on communication. Because as you know, with Mercury retrograde, the standard story is, okay, you're going to have these miscommunications or technology breakdowns or people coming back to have conversations. It's almost like people are feeling very overwhelmed. And you and I talked about this earlier. And that is the energy right now, especially today, being that the moon is in Scorpio. Always interesting to talk about the moon in Scorpio, is that I feel the energy today is the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is, as we know, it's nostalgia, it's things coming back around. It's our inner child, our childhood. I find that a lot of people right now are struggling with the inner child and self-concept. What were the traumas and the triggers of their childhood that are creeping into the today? And then, of course, with the Six of Cups, this can also be wishes coming true. And so there could be things coming back around that are better than you ever expected. So it's almost like an overload of so many possibilities and ways of communicating that I think, like you said also to me earlier, Two of Swords. I'd be really curious to see if those cards show up in the cards that we pull, because Six of Cups, the nostalgia, the past life, there's the South Node right there, because that's also past life sort of connections in the Six of Cups. And then the Two of Swords, which is the decision making. And I said this earlier before you and I came on today. I was doing some of my own filming and planning, and what came out was exactly this: we have to listen to our heart. This cannot be about what's going on in the brain, because the brain lies to us. That's the Neptune. That's the illusions you're talking about, right? There's the trickster. Your brain is tricking you. Now we have to listen to our hearts. And I'm not saying, ooh, baby romance and like in the stereotypical view of the heart. I'm talking about the electric magnetic field of the heart. There have been some studies that show that your heart knows before your gut, before your brain, and we have to trust our heart. What do we always say? The longest journey is from the head to the heart. And I think this is the time where people really need to get out of their head and follow their heart. So, triggers wise, I think people are really fearful of the next level. And I agree with you about September. Today as we film this is September 1st. This is where we actually feel that sort of shift out of the warm summer months. We're coming to autumn. And interesting, in the cards that I was pulling myself earlier today, I noticed that in a particular reading, it said autumn card came out and the summer card came out. And there was something to do with a telephone, and it was communication. And I went, isn't it interesting where it feels like right now there could be someone or something that's going, do I call now? Do I call later? Because it's still technically the summer. It's like we're still in summer, but we're not in summer. We're getting out of summer. Like, is it now? Is it then? Is it now? Is it, should I make the call? And it doesn't mean you're calling another person necessarily. I'm just saying, should I make the call? And what does that mean? That means, should I make the decision? Should I make the call? Okay, could be calling a person, could be changing jobs, could be making a major life change, but it's all about making the call. And so there's the Mercury, there's the communication. I think a lot of people right now are in decision mode.
Definitely. And imagine like this, I will just add something on everything. Imagine you with any other person in your life, like that can be your partner, your mom, your dad, your whoever, you know. And imagine now that we're all blindfolded. We're playing chess.
Hmm.
You are, you know, like you can't see the figures, you can't see anything. You're grabbing the first one. That you know, how your hand is going like down on that board. Our intuition, our higher self, our everything is, you know, on the side telling us. On the other side, we are having our mind. We're saying like, visualize in your mind, do this, do that, you know, like move this figure like this or like that. Yet that move is, you know, wrong because we know, you know, the order, which figure is moving in the direction. So now it's almost like you need to listen to that inner voice in order to play this chess uh, with everybody. This is like the, you know, girl from a store, you know, selling you something. This is with every single one, uh, every single person that we are like meeting like on daily basis. And I would just like add one more thing regarding to six of cups that you mentioned, and the two of swords that I mentioned. So the
Hmm.
union of water and air is actually almost like aqua. You know, Aquarian energy is connected, obviously, like with air sign, but the everybody's like misunderstanding the Aquarius. They're saying, "Oh, it's aqua, it's water sign, it's the water barrier." Yeah,
Yes.
but the funny thing, that's actually the knowledge, and you know that's something that I want to pinpoint, because the knowledge is something that is the main title right now is September, in whole month, and I will repeat this specifically this in our following videos during next week that we are going to film because we need to understand that the knowledge that we need to have, the download, or however you're going to call it,
Hmm.
is going to happen in September. It's preparing us because, for example, through numerology, September is the last month. After that, we are having October. October is the 10th month, which is another one. So
Hmm.
we're having months from January to September, which is from 1 to 9. After that, the October, November, and December, those 3 months are the representation of what's happening in January, February, and March next year. So it's actually really interesting when we start to follow those signs next to a road, how answers we are going to have. So if you are going on a journey to improve yourself, to upgrade yourself, to level up, and we're all leveling up, like on collective energy, we are basically uh, we're going to have every single feeling, every single emotion, every single thought and knowledge that we absorb October, November, December, we're going to have the next year. But now, because we entered in this month that it's number 9, numerologically, we need to finish our karma. And that's the reason why we need to respect Saturn, to respect the order, the discipline, and everything that it's connected with ancestors, because Six of Cups is actually our feminine ancestors in tarot cards. Two of Swords, of course, is connected with our intuition, following the moon, listen to the moon kind of song. But everything is like feminine energy related. And in next month, we are going to have a lot of emotional love subjects, themes that we're going to have, uh, things that we're going to learn. You know, how do we love? What is love? What is the definition of union for you individually? This is not something that you need to, you know, search for and do this. You can do the research, obviously, but you know, your heart is always going to tell you the right definition for yourself based on those. terms and subjects. So we are going to have a lot of other aspects that are going to happen in next following weeks. But this week in particular is really important because this is the knowledge week. Every 10 days of each month, first 10 days of each month is the knowledge.
Mhm.
And that's something that it's connected with new beginnings, with, you are turning the new page and you're writing from the beginning. That's the thing, and that's why I love the new moon, the first 10 days of the month, every Monday. Why I love, like even Sunday, because after that, like we're going to Monday. Why I love every single 20th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd in a month, because that's a new cycle for astrological side. So, what's new for you? I think that's the huge question, actually, that we all need to um, ask ourselves. Do we have courage to take the new? Do we want new? Do we know what is new for us? Because everything is connected with the word new,
Mhm.
especially the word knowledge. So now you can understand that with the knowledge, like if you can choose gold, pile of gold on one side and the knowledge on another one, I always choose the knowledge because with knowledge you can achieve absolutely everything.
Mhm.
At September, it always reminds me of that. So, I think actually that everything that's happening right now as a triggers, uh, yes, it is a bit tough, to get used to that. Imagine if we're all kids. We are home, we are, on a playground, we are doing this or that. Instantly, over the night, click, we had that somebody press the button. Tomorrow, we need to go to school, we need to get up early, we need to do this, we need to do that. A lot of obligations. But yeah, I think that those obligations is easier for us because it gave us a purpose. It's
Mhm.
giving us knowledge because a lot of people today don't know how to organize their own life and they're spending their time to, do things, whatever that thing
Mhm.
is. So I think that now we are receiving the necessary um, necessary books, necessary knowledge, necessary, triggers. Even the trickster is there as a teacher, he is, the one like for gymnastics, athletics, things like that, something that it's not going to have a huge influence on your, degrees at the end, but yet, it is important as much as the other subjects. So, we all have pluses and minuses based on certain like levels in our life, whether that be emotion, job, like moving out or some other huge things that it's going to happen. But I think that we all need to, stop doubting because the doubt is actually the key.
Absolutely. And I'm going to add one more thing before we pull a couple cards. And that is when you say knowledge, I think right away of the Ace of Swords and that clarity and that aha moment and that epiphany. I've also been pulling a lot of Hanged Man card, the illumination, the change of perspective, being in the cocoon, so to speak, and coming out that butterfly, a lot of transformation out of the old. It's almost like people are feeling like they're a little bit in limbo. They're neither nor, they're stuck. And that time or that pause or that break, it's bringing that illumination. Now, we've talked a lot recently about the fact that there's been light bulb issues. Light bulbs are burning out, lights are flickering, there's electricity, so much electric energy. And what that is saying to me right now, as we sit here, I'm having an aha moment and an epiphany and a light bulb going off saying, that's all knowledge. That's all about knowledge. That's having that spark because I'm seeing a lot of, like I said, Ace of Swords, hangman, illumination, and in my oracle deck, the light bulb card still continues to come out. So that is telling me that we've had a very strong message over the last little while that says we are learning, we're having clarity, and things are shifting. And knowledge is power. Yes, I agree with that term or that statement. However, I'm going to take it a step further. It's not the be all end all. It's what you do with that knowledge that's important. Anybody can be the smartest person in the world, the most book smart individual, but what you do with that knowledge is more important. So now we need to take what we've learned and we have to apply it to our future. So let's take some cards and feel this out. And if any of those cards come out, then we know. But let's kind of see what we need to know on this Scorpio moon Thursday triggers. Oh, I
Okay.
had two cards. Two cards came out. And it's so interesting that these two came out together because I know you're going to know what I'm going to say when I see this card. Because I got the Seven of Swords and the Nine of Cups. Now, funny how you mentioned, cup energy and sword energy together. You can't make that up because here I have the Seven of Swords, which typically means, maybe some deception, some wearing a false self mask. See, there's your strength. I see this card all the time. Everybody who knows me knows I'm like, what do you want from me? She's got her arms out. She's like, come at me, like bring it on. Like, what do you want? Like, what do you want from me? But here's the thing. We have to take off the mask and we have to ask for what we want. We have to communicate what we want. We have to stop sitting there afraid to say, this is what I want. Why are we so worried about judgment? Like, so what if I want something? Everybody wants something. We have the right to express ourselves. So the Nine of Cups is saying, ask and you shall receive. And when I see your card of the Strength card, I think of like, do you want the peace or do you want the beast? I mean, like, which one is it? And I'm noticing a theme of peace right now. Everybody just wants peace of mind because of that overthinking.
Mhm. Yeah, with all of that, like, it's almost like I'm having the feeling that we are the one who is giving other people the, possibility to choose. Like,
Hmm.
whatever you want, however you behave towards me, just do the mirroring. I will just do the mirror and I will give you back everything. Why? Because I pulled another card.
Yeah.
With the strength card, we have the King of Swords, which is obviously speaker truth. He is, of course, logical
Yeah.
person. He's somebody who is, really cutting cords. And I love this card because, it's for me always, and it's always going to be an aqua card.
Hmm.
And, sharp mind, fast mind, like decisions that you are going to have in next period, they're extremely huge, like the huge in a way of your inner possibility of how much you blocked yourself, how much you were the one who is like dealing with your inner demons. Now you became a king. Now you finished one degree and you're going to another one, so this is about the next level from my perspective, but let's take more
Yes.
cards.
I want to make one other observation about your card. Your King of Swords over there has a hood on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. When I see the Seven of Swords, and we know that in the traditional depiction, it's almost like somebody who's being a little sneaky, right? A little bit covered up. That's like, I'm gonna take the hood off and I'm gonna decide and I'm gonna expose. And we're gonna ask for what we want. We're gonna make the decision.
This reminds me, I'm sorry, Kelly, I really need to do,
Yeah,
my
yeah,
favorite thing. I
yeah,
always talk about TV shows and everything, but these two cards, specifically these two individuals over here, reminds me of, Targaryen family from Game of
yes,
Thrones, and,
yes,
or the House of Dragon now,
yes,
because it's the blonde hair and everything. I mean, this is more like something uh, but to reveal yourself, to reveal your truth, sometimes you need to, like cover yourself.
yes.
That's the thing, sometimes you need to know when to stop. It sounds like driving a car,
Yeah.
when to brake, when to, press the gas. So this is about the perfect timing for me.
I mean, Miro, side note, just call me Kelly C. I mean, that was my Halloween costume a few years ago. Kelly C. What
Okay.
else do we need to know? What else do we need to know? Eight of Cups. It's so
Queen
interesting.
of Pentacles.
I love this mural, and I'll tell you why. Because the Eight of Cups in this particular deck, we know that the Eight of Cups is walking away from things that no longer serve you or towards things that are better for you. She's looking over her shoulder one last time. In this decision making that people are going through, this is like saying, okay, am I sure? Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm a little nervous, but I'm looking over my shoulder and giving one last glance. And then she's going to turn around and she's going to walk towards that moon. And that moon is what? Revealing something. So it's going to be a last minute check and walk towards that stability, because that Queen of Pentacles is about that stability.
It is because the universe is somebody who, make the whole stage for you, the whole scene for you.
Hmm.
Your, role is just to go there and be yourself. You don't need to pretend to be somebody else. Of course, you were given a script by
Hmm.
universe, by this, that, whatever. You read that script because if you read that script, that's the reason why you are now here, listening, learning, maybe teaching somebody else with things that you learned in the past period. But now, I think that we all need to see ourselves with the true, like, what's our true nature, because that Eight of Cups reminds me actually on a different perspective. Perfect. You know how you have those like artists who is having, half of the face is the short hair, then here's the longer hair, over
Hmm.
here is this, over here is that. This is like, combo of, I mean the pose, like how
Yeah.
he's looking over the shoulder.
Yeah.
It's almost like, you know, it's the aqua, in me, who says always like, let's change the perspective. Let's see something different. What is she walking away from? Maybe she wants to close this gate, or yet she arrived at destination to open this gate. Who cares? Show must go on. That's the thing. We need to keep going and we need to play. If you are having, for example, you're an actor, and you're having your script and you're having everything, every single line that you need to say. If you miss the line in a like in theater or something like that, are you stopping everything and saying everybody get out and enter again? We will start at the beginning. No, keep going. That's the thing
Yeah.
with everything. So now I think that we were lazy in like back in a few weeks maybe or months. We're a little bit lazy because we wanted to fix this, to fix that, and now I'm looking at my wall, I need to paint it, I need this, and now there is the thing and the theme of everything happened so quickly because of this King of Swords, because of Mars in Gemini, because Mars in Gemini is extremely quickly, like trust me on that. I
Hmm.
have personally that in my chart, and I can be finished in 5 minutes. I can be ready in
Yeah.
5 minutes in a way like if I'm preparing to go somewhere or whatever that is. And yet, to look good. But that's the speed up that we are going to receive. So I think that this key, regardless of the key that she is having over here, whether it is unlocking or locking something or blocking something, um, I
Hmm.
think that actually we are going to liberate ourselves because that's the thing, over here she's standing on the stairs, and
Yeah.
on the, she's on the next level. That's it.
Just to make another observation, in that Nine of Cups that we had earlier, it's very similar posing. But I'll tell you what the difference is that like she's, it's the way they're facing. Yeah, yours too. Very much so. You can see that it just changes the meaning just a little bit. Um, because this one you can definitely see that she's looking over her shoulder. She's gonna turn her head in a moment's notice, and she's gonna be out of there. You know what I mean? So let's see what the third card is, and we'll tie it all together. Oh my goodness. Look at the pose. There's the Fool. Hmm. Brand new beginning.
After that,
Justice. Justice. Wow, that is balance. That is that truth. and that communication and, that harmony. It's really beautiful energy. Just gorgeous. I mean, and when I see this card, it's very hard for you to see, but she has a paintbrush, and this little paintbrush is painting a new reality, and it's beautiful. It's changing everything. The light is really coming in here now.
Can I ask you for a favor?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, can you hold your cards just to, make something as a story?
Okay, like the way we started, as in,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay,
So this is it. Like we have the Fool over there. That
yeah,
is the new beginning. That's the young energy. When we're young, we are painting, we're doing this, we're doing that. After that, we're having let's call it like that. Uh, the mature age, but before that, we're having the Seven of Wands. Like the rebel, like the teenager mode, something like that.
yeah,
After that, we are like we have the crossroad. Like, are we going to be somebody who is like you know, uh, well raised by their parents, like they are strong, stable, or we are going to be the Eight of Cups, who is like, I don't care, couldn't care less, or whatever. And last but not least, we are having the Justice, who is like, I am I am who I am. So I think this is a wake up call for divine feminine to be in balance in same equality like the masculine energy, like the kings, like that masculine type. So this justice is going to be um, almost I don't know, I want to say like Archangel Michael is fighting for like the feminine energy to be in balance with the masculine,
yes.
and everybody to go on their own spots.
But Miro, I mean, take a look at this. The Fool is Aries energy. The Justice is Libra. You have the axis. You have the masculine energy and you have that feminine energy over there because you have the Venus. I have Mars, you have Venus. And so this is that balance of the masculine and feminine energies. And it's the progression from sort of the new astrological year. Now we know it's not a calendar year, but just think we have the beginning of the astrological calendar year, and we're now at the point of justice and balance. We've now reached the other side of the axis. So, you've got one side, you have the shadow side, or vice versa. We've got the progression. So we started here going, I'm going to paint my reality. And what I love about the Justice card is now we're going to get to some balance finally. I think it's about time.
I will find time for myself.
Yes. Wow, Mira, that was absolutely beautiful. I really appreciate that so much. And I look forward to seeing what happens in the next week. And I'll see you next time on Thursday Triggers.
Of course, and if anybody wants to leave a comment of does these things resonate with you, or of course, like you can type whatever happened to you during the next
Yes,
following week, just to give us like a little feedback to see like if these beautiful cards actually like gave you the intel how to avoid maybe or specific obstacles, triggers, and how to achieve whatever that you want.
absolutely.
Thank you, Kelly, and
Thank
talk to
you.
you soon.
All right. Let us know how you feel, everybody.